Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from incubatuli.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today, and we are going to work with the beautiful friendship stamp set today, a photopolymer set, sort of a distinctive set. Haven't used this for a while, so I thought I'd get it back out. The cards that we're going to aim to make are cards plural, so I'm going to do something really quick and simple, just using a few of those stamps just to get a really soft look that you can do multiples of quite easily, and then a slightly more in-depth one, just in that there's more stamping and some more layering and stuff. So we're going to do these two cards. This one's not going to take long at all, just a one layer card with some simple stamping, and then we'll do this one. So you can see the colour scheme I've used here is all purples. So this is Highland Heather, Soft Seafoam and Smoky Slate, and then I used the sort of the darker tones, so I've got Granny Apple Green on the background, and I've used Gorgeous Grape for the background, and Basic Grey, and added in a bit of this ribbon. This has actually got Purple Posy on it, but yeah, I thought it went quite nicely with the image. So we're going to mix up the colour palette a tad, but those are the cards that we're aiming for. So the colour palette we're going to mix in, we're going to use Mint Macaron, Flirty Flamingo and Grey Granite this time. So I'm going to use the same colourways for both cards. Whoops, a daisy. And I've already got all my on blocks ready. I'm going to grab myself some scrap paper because I want to stamp off slightly. Just going to get one of my small sheets of grid paper that protects my surface. Okay, so this is one of my regular layers. So it'll be 4 inches wide by 5 3/4 high, and we're going to stamp in our flowers. So there's a few different flowers in the set, but we're just going to go with this small bloom, really nice, and we're going to do some stamping off as well. So I'm going to do one full strength, one off. Okay, and I'll put one there, and I'm just sort of twisting and turning the stamp a little bit so that we get a different look. Okay, so if you stamp, I don't know, oh yeah, okay, so I want to just show you this. If I went to stamp this where I want it, can you see that there's a line where some of the inks come off but it hasn't on the other half, so you'd end up with a stripe on your image. So I'm going to stamp off my scrap paper and then put that one in, something there I think. Do I like the suggestion of that? Well, we're just going to go with it. It's something simple across the middle using first generation and second generation ink. That's what we want to achieve, nice and simple. Okay, just going to wipe that off. Ready to use again in a moment. And we'll just fold away our pink ink pad for the moment, and we're going to bring in the Mint Macaron. And I've got both the leaves on blocks ready, so a set with 2 and a set with 3, so we're going to use a mixture of the two. And again, I think we're going to do some full strength and some stamped off ones, I think. Like so. No real rhyme and reason as to where I'm putting these. I'm just seeing where they look good and just sort of poking them into the sides there. There's no real magic to it. That one's overlapped quite a lot, and I didn't really intend that to happen, but we're just going to go with it. Try and keep it as balanced as I can. I think I might put another dark one up here, I think, and then another light one poking here. Now Now to me, I feel like there's more dark at the top than there is at the bottom, so I think I'm just going to put another dark one poking out somewhere. In fact, what I might do is just go over this one and just make that one a dark one. I think that looks a little bit more balanced. Okay. Sometimes you will get a feel for it. You think, oh, there's something not quite right there, and it'll be about colour balance. So I think that looks nice now. And all we need to do now is stamp the sentiment. So I picked out grey granite for this, really nice earthy grey, more of a brown tone to it, and that's going to go straight on the card there. Now I've used my trick. I've already mounted this, but you've seen me do this before. I use a line on my grid paper and I put the stamp down, line up the block over the top, again using a line on the grid paper. So long as my card is straight, theoretically my sentiment should be as straight as I can possibly make it. So I'm going to move it down here to this space, and it's just going to clip those leaves off to the side there, but that's absolutely fine because it looks connected. It doesn't look like it's just floating in midair, and we're just going to put that there. Okay, it's a really nice simple layout. I think this would make a really nice get well card if you had a different sentiment. Really pretty. Okay, I think those colours work really well together actually. That's the Flirty Flamingo and Mint Macaron, really nice. Okay, so all that's left to do with that is to place it onto a card base, and this one is done, easy peasy. Okay, nice and simple card that anybody can do. Okay, line that up on my card base. You could use a coloured card base if you wanted to. It would look good on any of those. You could pick any of these colours as the card base, and that would look fantastic. Okay, I'm not going to add any rhinestones, but of course you could go to town and add a bit of that. The only thing I might add, just because it's easy, is a bit of Winker Stella. Just a swirl over those blooms, just to give it a bit of something when it catches the light for the recipients. And that is all I'm going to do with that. Did it catch it? I don't think it's going to catch it today. But the recipient will be able to see that as it twinkles on the windowsill. Okay, card number 1, easy peasy. Okay, and just for comparison, there's the purple one. So that's ended up a bit lower down the card, but you know, it's all handmade, they're not meant to be identical. Okay, I think I like the pink one better. Okay, so that's card number 1. So now we're going to do our layered card. So I've already got some bits prepared, so I've got my card base there, and I've got a piece of mint macaron that I've cut to my usual card layer size, which is 4 by 5 3/4. That's ready to go onto the card. I'm not going to do it just yet though. And then I've got 2 white layers here. So this one's 3 3/4 by 5.5. Okay, and that's going to be my white layer to sit behind this one, which is the one I'm going to stamp on. And this one is 3.5 by 5.25 inches. Okay, I'm going to get my scrap paper again. So we're going to stamp all over this one using the same flower image and the same Flirty Flamingo ink. And basically we're just going to extend. This is how the idea for this one came about, because I did the other one, I was like, oh, I could just do this all over the page. Of course what we're not doing is adding any leaves, so that's obviously a little different, but we're just gonna, oh, I'm gonna end up with stripes. See, wasn't paying enough attention then. Let's go over it, nobody will know. So again, this is not, there's no real complicated technique here. I'm just filling it in with light and dark blossoms. Try not to get them in lines. That's one little tip. Try not to, because that was starting to get into a bit of a line, so I wanted to take that off into a different direction. And if I add a dark one there, it's going to sort of carry on this line, so I think I'll put a dark one up here to start breaking that up. Okay. I think we need some more light ones. Here. Get a dark one there. So just building up your image, however you fancy. Light tapping on the ink pad, remember, we don't need any super strength to do stamping at all. It's all very gentle and serene. Stamp off. And I think we'll stamp off another one for there. And there. Maybe just cover that corner a little bit. Okay, there we go. So that was just me plonking things on. Oh, I hope you were seeing all that. Excuse me. Just cleaning that stamp off quickly, as it's pink ink and I hate the staining, so I just want to get that off as soon as I can, so that doesn't stain too much. Okay, so we don't need the so for this card I've brought in the green by using the layer rather than adding any leaves. You could make it more spread out and not fill it in as much and add some leaves in as well if you wanted to, but I opted just to make it a real impactful card just with the flowers on. Okay, so we're going to add that to its white layer with some seal, and I've picked out some white ribbon. Didn't have anything in mint macaron or flirty flamingo, so I thought I'd just go with white. The white ribbon could be coloured if we wanted it to be, but I think actually the white will be a nice contrast, and this is the one from the Flowers for Every Season bundle. So I'm going to cut a length that's going to wrap around the card, and then an additional length that we can tie around in a moment. So let's secure this in place. On my other one I ended up with a bit of a funny gap, which is where I ended up placing the sentiment. There was like a gap here, and it was a bit weird, but I think this one's not too bad. Okay, so we're going to aim roughly somewhere in the middle. If it's a bit higher or lower, it ain't going to matter. Ain't going to matter. Okay. Oh. So it's just going to secure that on that side, and then on that side. The seal's a much stronger adhesive than our snail ever was, so that should hold quite nicely once it's all sandwiched together onto the card. So now we've positioned our ribbon, I'm going to add more adhesive now, to secure that down. So line up 3 sides and the 4th will follow. And if you don't press it down, you've just got a moment just to move that around before pressing it into place. Only a moment though. If you want more wiggle room, use wet glue. Just be sparing with it. And that can go on our card base. So it's ended up just slightly above centre, that's absolutely fine. So it wouldn't have mattered. I could have stuck it the other way and it would have been just below centre. It's just how it's going to come out. Life's too short to worry unless you're going for something in particular. Where did my folder? There it is. Just reinforce that crease. So we need to stamp the sentiment, and when I was cutting all my layers I ended up with some nice convenient little strips there, which I think are going to be big enough. Look at that, I like I did it deliberately. Just so happened to be the right size. And I think what we'll do is we'll use a punch to make the ends a bit more interesting. So I'm going to stamp it in the middle. There we go, that looks lovely. Good quality stamps, you can't go wrong with, really. You know, great ink, great stamps, and the blocks. I can honestly say, right, it sounds really ridiculous, but the blocks are just so nice to work with. They're a good weight, nice size, really comfortable to hold. Right, this is the timeless tag, and I don't know whether it's long enough, but we'll have a little look. Oh yeah, it is. So even though this piece of paper obviously is not as wide as that whole tag, if you can sort of see there, what that will end up doing is giving us a nice rounded edge to our sentiment, which will look far more interesting than just cutting it down. So I'm just lifting it up so I can actually see over the top, and make sure that's equal top and bottom, because then that will affect the way the curve is. So just bear with me a second. I know I'm not in camera, but so I've just positioned that where I want it. I'm just going to clip that out there. Okay, so just don't think that's the only shape you can get out of your punches. Similarly, if I just show you on this spare strip I've got here as well, if you only wanted one end punched, if you just slide it in from the back there, this isn't in between the metal portions, so it's not going to stamp, so going to cut, but this end will. So you can end up with, you know, one end cut, and of course if that's too long to go across, so you could do the same on this end and have a longer strip that's cut with round edges, like so, you see. Okay, so punches are deceptively versatile sometimes. So that was this one is the timeless tag. Very, very nice size, fits a lot of things. That and the tailor tag are probably the ones I use the most. Right, so this guy, is he going to go above or below the ribbon? I'll put the other one above it. I think above it's probably... Shall I tie the knot first and have a look? Again, this isn't going to be a bow, because bows are tricky. Simple, just tie in a knot and it will still look gorgeous, and you can fiddle about with how close you want it to the edge and persuade it to lie the way you want it to, like so. I think we have it above. I'm just going to clip those ends while I've got my nice sharp. These scissors are the ones I use for ribbon. I don't ever use those for... I don't ever. I might just, if I just want to quickly... lop something, but those are my ribbon scissors. So that's in place, and I think we will put this one above the ribbon here. So we'll just put a line of dimensional across the top there. And I find that these, you know, the edge strips are perfect for this kind of thing. Oops. And these ones are my sticky scissors. So so if I want to cut dimensionals or anything like that, or double-sided sticky tape or whatever, I use those ones. And certainly in the UK, I presume there are similar products elsewhere in the world, but WD-40 is great for getting sticky off scissors, and once you've treated your scissors, they actually resist the sticky. They'll stay pretty unsticky, if that's a word, for a while afterwards, and then WD-40 will get it all off. Really, really nice. So that's a top tip for you. Okay, so that's the second card. You can see where the inspiration has come from, but they've come out slightly different just by using different ribbon, positioning it differently, and those colours are just great, aren't they? Flirty Flamingo and Mint Macaron, really, really like those. Okay, so that's that one. Where did my other two go? There. And those were the quick and simple ones. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that, those projects, and you can see how achievable these can be. Okay, as always, I will put a link in the description to a full blog post with some more pictures, and a list of all the items I've used, including for these ones. If you wanted to go with this colourway, I'll list those products as well as these ones. And I'll put a direct shop link to the stamp set in the description as well, so you can just go straight to the shop and put it in your basket. If you would like to get hold of that. It's a really, really lovely set, actually. It's really, really, really lovely. I like this as well. This background could be achieved really, really quickly with that one as well, and this lovely bloom as well. Beautiful set. A variety of sentiments in there as well. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope the rest of your day is really, really cool. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Okay, take care everybody. Okay, bye.